Only the top 3% of sports bettors actually profit in the long run because they're using data-driven bets instead of basing their parlays off the last 5 stats, research, and their feelings. Positive EV sports betting and traditional sports betting. Let's go over the difference between the two and why this one is so much more profitable than your average sports betting. So first off, we have positive EV. Obviously, we are using data-driven bets in the market to place our parlays and our straight bets versus the traditional sports bettor will use things like recency bias, their feelings, and their emotions to decide whether or not a parlay or a player is going to hit their prop that night. So positive EV, obviously we are playing wherever there is value. Every opportunity we get that has juice or value, a positive EV bettor will take it, whereas a traditional sports bettor relies completely on emotion. And that's why they lose so much money. The main goal with profitable sports betting is to completely eliminate all emotion from your parlays and from your bets. So that is why one is super profitable and one is not. So let's go over exactly how you can become a profitable positive EV bettor. For an example, just for you guys, I brought my friend over. He's literally the worst sports bettor that I've ever met. He's lost $3,000 on PrizePicks just this week. But I kid you not, the first data-driven slip that I told him to place using the OddsJam optimizer, which is basically an AI tool. I'll go over that in a little bit. But show him the slip that you hit this week, bro.
$500. First slip right there. And guess what I use? The OddsJam's optimizer.
We need a software or an AI platform, and the one I use is called OddsJam. OddsJam has been around for a couple of years now. They are the best in the market. I've been using them for a very long time. So going over to their software or their website, they have this tab called Plus EV, and they also have a Fantasy Optimizer tab. They're pretty much the same thing. They're both different plans, but let's just go over the positive EV tool for now. You can set different sportsbooks on your filters, and essentially what it's going to do, it's going to scan the market in real time to point out the value every single time there's discrepancies in the market. What I mean by discrepancies is every time a certain sportsbook has a line that, it's giving you value compared to the rest of the market. So for example, right, if we have one prop sitting at minus 125 when the rest of the market is boosted and has, juice at minus 165 on the over or, sometimes in the under, obviously we're getting a lot more value at a better price point betting on this one sports book. So if you think, for example, right, think of the stock market, right? The stock market has very consistent prices across every single brokerage. You go on Robinhood, the price of an Apple stock is going to be the same thing as if you were to go on some other brokerage. So it's the complete opposite with sports betting, right? Sports betting market is very, very inconsistent. One sports book can have a price of minus 125 while the other sports book could have a price of plus 125. That's very common because each sports book sets their own line, sets their own odds, and there's millions of streams of data coming in to every single sports book, right? So that is why plus EV and mathematical strategies like this are even possible. Next, we can also take advantage of value betting or data-driven betting by using their Fantasy Optimizer tool. Fantasy Optimizer scans the market essentially the same way as a positive EV tool does, but on DFS apps like PrizePicks, Underdog, Dabble, Better, you name it. They have pretty much every DFS apps or fantasy apps. So what these apps do is they have fixed payouts. And what fixed payouts are essentially is, if you were to bet the over or the more favored prop on a sports book with non-fixed payouts, with flexible payouts, or I'm forgetting the word, but you would get paid out differently, right? So if it was favored on the over, you get paid out less than if you were to choose the under. On PrizePicks, if you get the over and the under, or whichever one you choose, you get paid the same amount just as long as the prop hits. So using the Fantasy Optimizer, we're actually able to find value on these fantasy apps as well. So if we have a prop on DraftKings heavily favored on the over, let's say like a strikeout prop at 5.5 for like minus 160 across the market, and then we're getting it on PrizePicks at even odds, right, for 5.5 at the same line as well. That's value. We're going to take that on PrizePicks. That's essentially just a quick overview of what positive EV actually is and how we can use the OddsJam tool to find value in the market. Okay, so how is plus EV actually mathematically profitable? I want you to think about it like this. This is something that you probably learned in your AP statistics class back in high school if you even paid attention, but it's called the law of large numbers and something to do with sample sizes. So I want you to imagine a quick scenario, right? You have a coin. Every time you flip that coin, you have, instead of the normal 50-50 chance of landing on heads or tails, it's a 55% chance to land on heads instead of tails, right? So someone comes up to you with this magical coin. They don't know that it's 55% chance to land on heads, but you do. And they come up to you asking you to bet like $20 every single time they flip the coin. You're always going to bet that $20 on heads. because it would be stupid to bet on tails when you have the edge, right? It doesn't matter every single time. It doesn't matter what the bet is. It doesn't matter what the coin looks like, because every single time you have that edge, you're going to flip it and you're going to bet on heads, right? So translating this kind of to the sports betting scene, imagine every single time that you have a bet with value or juice, you have an edge on. It's similar to you betting on that coin. So it doesn't matter your feelings, the last five, all this research stuff that you do. At the end of the day, if you have value, the value's there, you're still gonna bet on heads. So with this coin, going back to the coin example, you're not just gonna bet on it one time, because if you have a rigged coin with 55% chance to land on heads, you'd bet on it as many times as you can, so then you can average it out, that probability, to the 55% chance in your favor. So obviously if you just flip it one time, you still have that 45% chance it'll land on tails. It's too high of a risk. But if you increase the sample size, the law of large numbers says that the probability will average out to your percentage the more times I think after n equals like 1,000. I forget the exact statistics that comes with it, but just know the more times you flip that coin, or the more times that you're actually betting and getting volume in, the more it will average out to that 55% edge in your favor, which obviously in both scenarios here is profit or money in the long run. So that's exactly how plus EV translates to mathematical terms in profits for sports bettors. A lot of the times people will see, their bets lose and get discouraged and be like, that's a stupid bet. Why would I bet on it? But you have the edge. You're going to take it. It would be stupid not to. Long story short, play with an edge over these multi-million-dollar industries, because trust me, they know a lot more than you do, and you cannot beat them, because casinos weren't built off winners. The next super important tip to staying in the profit and hitting slips like that on PrizePicks is bankroll management. Now, bankroll management basically consists of something called units. Unit is anywhere from 1 to 3% of whatever money is in your account, or whatever money you have allocated to sports betting, right? So let's say you have $1,000 in your account, your unit would be anywhere from $10 to $30 based on whatever you're comfortable with. Now, what is the point of a unit? A unit is the amount that you bet on every single slip. It doesn't matter how much you like the slip. It doesn't matter how much value's on the slip. You're going to be betting 1 unit for every single slip, the same amount across every single platform. Now, why is this important in becoming a profitable sports bettor? Let me just give you a quick example, right? So if you're putting, let's say your unit size is $50. You're putting $50 on 2 slips, and you get paid out $100 in profit for those 2 slips, right? You make $200. Now the next slip you think is like a for sure lock 100% chance of hitting. You put 100, or like you put $200 on it, so that would be 4 units, and then you lose that slip. Now all of your money's gone, right? And so unit management, bankroll management, this is very important in staying consistent and staying disciplined in your sports betting journey. I've seen too many of my clients have had like $1,000 weeks, and then they lose it all because they get too comfortable, because they're starting to make more money, so they think, oh, I'm gonna put more money on this bet. That is not how your mind should operate. You need to stay disciplined, and you need to stay consistent with sports betting, because that is the only way that you can be profitable in the long run, especially with data-driven bets using strategies like plus EV. Unit management and bankroll management is key while doing both. With that being said, if you guys are able to follow all of these tips and use this as an outline or a blueprint to your positive EV betting journey, you guys will 100% be profitable sports bettors and be in that top 3% that we all want to be a part of, because who the hell likes losing money? No one wants to be in that 97th percentile of sports bettors that actually lose. So if you are able to be persistent, be consistent, and be patient, manage your units, and follow this blueprint, you guys will have no problem and be very successful as sports bettors in the very soon near future. So with that being said, subscribe, like, comment what you guys want to see in the next video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.